The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Evening, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, and this is the YouTube. We are live. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get TikTok set up here. It didn't want to cooperate. I see some of you in the chat already. Don't worry. We are going to say hi to everybody here. Just let me add it. Hopefully it will play nicely tonight. We shall see. Hang on. I know Carrie Lynn and I got kicked off on a Thursday night because apparently we weren't over the age of 13. Apparently, you can believe that. Anyways, thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, you're listening to the Angel Rock, and you can listen to us on UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM in the Gulf Coast in Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. And that's actually where we're broadcasting out of. Give a huge shout out to the owner of this network, Joe Montaldo, because we're broadcasting out of his beautiful home on the bayou in New Orleans. And he's had this network around for, gosh, it's longer than 25 plus years. I think it's even getting closer to 30. And he set this all up beautifully. We do broadcast to every country in the world, believe it or not, but 80% plus, I'll say, of our audience is audio only. So if you guys want to join the conversation, we have the best chat room here. I'm going to rattle off quickly how you can join us on my Facebook profile under Lorilei Potvin. Also my LinkedIn on the same name, on my YouTube channel, which is the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. Then we are on the networks UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and I always borrow, and I'm very grateful for Joe Montaldo. He lets me use his Rumble because he has more people over there than I do under Jojo Mon. Now, a little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm also a registered nurse. I am an animal communicator. I'm well-versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself, and I've studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years, as well as I'm extremely well versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it. It found me. We're going to be having lots of spooky conversation. We had a little bit of stuff happening behind the scenes before we went live. So if you guys we did share some of our story that we went through in a previous home on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor is season 4, episode 9. You can find that on YouTube. I think you can find it on Netflix. You can find it all over the place. I think it's called Demonic Hauntings. Also, if you guys want to watch us on TV, the network does have a TV channel, and it's called on Roku. So you're going to go to the channel store and look for the search button. When you find it, you're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. And there's a drop-down list. We're about the 3rd or 4th one down, and you're specifically looking for UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. Also would like to thank Carnation. Here on UPRN, we call it Carnation Mondays, and we have numerous shows that we stream live, actually 7 days a week here on the network. But on Mondays in particular, they sponsor all of our shows, and Carnation is a global brand. So I'd like to thank Carnation for sponsoring all our shows, but also if you're out shopping and you happen to see something that you need in your household and it's by Carnation, please consider picking it up to help support Carnation because they support us. And I'm trying to remember, did I forget anything here? Got my little checked out list here. No, I think I've got everything. So you guys, I met this beautiful lady from my own wonderful friend, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. Her and I also forgot to mention that. How could I? We co-host Beneath the Hollow Moon here on UPRN on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I met this beautiful lady we're having on this evening from Carrie Lynn. Let me read you a little bit about her bio. Her name is Victoria Victoria Cheeseman. She's an intuitive, a paranormal investigator, and co-founder of Astral Light Paranormal. Astral Light Paranormal is a family-run team based out of Kemptville, Ontario, and was founded in 2023. The team consists of Victoria, her husband Steve, and her daughter Maria. They investigate, I should put my glasses on, that might help. They investigate residential, commercial, and historic locations. They've also been very fortunate to have had many investigations at local museums and been given presentations in cooperation with local communities and historical societies. Their goal with Astral Light Paranormal is to help share the stories of the sites they investigate, along with the spirits who choose to communicate with them, whether they have a message to pass along or just to be remembered. They let the voices of, I'll say, these spirits, I'll say that respectfully, be the connection to the past. And welcome. It's nice to see you here. I'm glad I'm having you on tonight, finally.
Thank you.
Well, let's say hi to everybody. I should check over on TikTok. We'll see if it's playing nicely here. Oh, I see Vince DeLeon is joining over there. So welcome. I'll be checking back and forth. So let's start at the top. Victoria, you know most of these people because I've seen you in the chat many times, and you can sure vouch, I'm sure, for the people in the chat. We got great people, don't we?
We do.
So we've got Z-Sun Dragon, and I like to call him by his muggle name, Kevin. Hang on, I'm grabbing a sip if you're listening. We have Contessa Martins here. Hang on, excuse me. Everybody's saying hi. Oh, we have Kathy Hanley Little here saying hi, Lorilei and Victoria. We have Michelle Wilfong. I'm going to give her a shout out. She's my mod usually on TikTok. She does such an incredible job over there. She manages the chat while we're live just so beautifully. I don't know how she does what she does, and I'm so grateful for her doing that. She has her own TikTok channel called My Haunted Apartment, and she indeed does live in a haunted apartment, so check it out. She catches quite a few anomalies, I'll say, going on in the space where she lives. So thank you for everything you do, Michelle. Really, really appreciate it. Then we have Mish saying g'day, Lorilei, g'day, Astral. And I always like to tease Mish. She's joining us from the future. It's Tuesday morning over there in Australia, very early. So thanks for joining us. We got Carrie Fast here. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody as I scroll. Mish is saying, I need to put my glasses on. Thought we were talking about the Cheeseman. What a cool last name. Mish is saying, what a cool last name. So that's Victoria's last name for anybody wondering that little joke. We've got Lisa Martello here. Welcome. We're so glad. Thank you for joining us. We'll just check TikTok again. No, we seem to be okay. Hopefully it doesn't freeze on me over there. We will see. So welcome. I am so glad that I knew you were coming on in the New York. So thank you for being here. So I'm going to start beginning. I always do this with people, but I think it's important to kind of find out a little bit more, like, how did you get involved in the paranormal to where you are today?
My daughter, since she was little, she's almost 23 now, but when she was little, she could see spirits. And we kind of just always told her that she was never really scared. We always told her that they're showing themselves to you because they trust you. They're comfortable with you. And it was kind of just normal. She kind of just grew up with it. It was a normal thing in our house. And then my parents passed away in 2014. And I think that's kind of honestly really what kind of kicked it off, because my daughter used to kind of see them all the time. And I'd be like, oh, I wish my mom was here. I'd tell her this. And Maria's like, she's right there. You can tell her. She's standing right there. So, and it kind of just went on from there. And we started doing public investigations like a lot of people do. And then we kind of just wanted to branch off and kind of do our own thing and kind of like our own goals of what we wanted to do for an investigation.
Well, I think it's cool that you involve your family. I'm sure there are other people that do this, but the only one I've really seen do this, and I followed them pretty well from the beginning, is the Paranormal Files with Colin Brown. And his mom and dad join him. They always have. Everybody calls it's Mary and Jeff, but everybody calls them Mama and Papa Spooks. And then he brings his brother-in-law, Connor, His wife has come once or twice, but I don't think that's kind of her thing. But he's been on there ever since he was a teenager. He just had his 10th year anniversary last year, actually. And have you ever seen his channel?
I have not that much, but I have. I do know which one it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how he does what he does. Like, I keep missing on Mondays with the craziness going on in my house since before Christmas. It's settling down now. So I'll probably watch tonight. But I don't know how this kid, I call him a kid, but he's probably in his 30s, early 30s, mid 30s. But he puts out a brand new documentary every week. Like, we're talking 3-4 hour documentary. And I don't know how he does it. And he also has a podcast with his wife called Murder in America. So they look at famous cases of true crime. But they're really starting to travel a lot now. Like, I'm noticing they're doing a lot of things over in the UK, over in Europe. They've been to Italy. They've been to I think France. And it's just kind of cool to see the whole family involved. So so do you feel, well, how do I want to word this? With your family, you can trust your family. If they don't know you and you don't know them, like, there's nobody you would know better is what I'm saying than your family. Is that why you guys chose as a family, or is there another reason?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we kind of just, I mean, we're together a lot. We're like 3 peas in a pod. My daughter is like my best friend. So we're always together. So it's like we can start doing something and the other one knows what you're going to do. So it's, you don't even really have to talk. It's just the flow and really the trust factor. Because when we investigate, there is no provoking. I'm not going for reactions for clickbait. I'm going, like, if spirits tell me one word, that is meaningful to me, like it's about them in the history. And that's really what we wanted to focus on as opposed to reaction.
Well, I love that too, because I always get a little touchy. I mean, I know there's somebody for everybody out there, but that always has really, really, really bothered me when people choose to provoke, because you're dealing, especially if you're dealing with something human, which many earthbound spirits are. Would you treat a human being like that? If they were face to face? No. Yeah. And I worked in palliative care and, death and dying at home in the community before I hurt my back. I'm very, very passionate about that. And I know it might sound morbid to some people, but I just think that everybody has the right, to die with dignity and not be in pain. And I'm actually writing 3 books, but one of them is telling the stories of what we, as nurses, first responders, and even, don't like the name, but death doulas experience at the bedside, because a lot of magic happens when people transition from here to the other side of the world. Sorry, I got a cat hair or something in my eye. Let me just say hi to a few people we missed here. We got Benno from Oz. Hello. And we've got Tanya Martins. Welcome. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else here. Yeah, so that's how I think it's really cool that the 3 of you can do that together. Really, really.
Yeah, we all started together, and it's just, like it'll always be just us 3. I mean, if family members come up, like my husband's mom, my mother-in-law, we took her along one time, but so she was very into it. But it's just, I think honestly, a lot is the trust factor with us, so I want to go into a place and I want to be with people I trust and know that they're there with the right intentions.
Yeah, because that's everything, right? Intention. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other thing I love that you shared is the way that the 2 of you supported your daughter, because I truly believe that all young children can see spirit, as can animals. And I think it has to do with the fact and the way that we support our children when they have these experiences. And it sounds like your daughter's hung on to those abilities as she's gotten older. I hope I heard you right about that, but that's what it seems, right?
Yeah, she's very intuitive. She's kind of just like me too, like with past lives. Like, she's told me her past lives since she was little, before she would have known what it was. She actually she had a lot of trouble with that at first, but we're kind of like, it is what it is, you know, kind of it's done and over with, but she's been very in tune with that, like even just spiritually all around her entire life. So
Well, it's kind of like with both my boys. I had two boys. I now have just one son, but it was the same thing. Like I always, they could see stuff, they could experience it. And you just, as their parent, you just ask them the questions about it, make sure, they're comfortable with it, like that you support them. And actually my eldest son's going to be 31 in July. And he was telling me recently that his father and I are no longer together, but we get along really well. And I guess he had said to his dad something about, well, Mom, she has the woo-woo. And his father apparently said, how dare you? Does your mother know you speak about her that way? And when my son was telling me, we were both laughing our butts out going, heck, yes, I know he says that about me, right? Thanks, Mish. Mish is heading over to TikTok. Well, the thing is, right, for people listening that don't know what the woo-woo is, it's kind of one of those nicknames, at least, in this community. They'll say the paranormal or even the more intuitive community, about people that can connect with things that other people can't see or necessarily experience, right?
true.
I just thought it was so funny. And I said, your dad actually, because his dad knew that his dad knew that I had these abilities and was connecting, with spirit and stuff. I just thought it was so funny after all these years. Does your mother know you refer to her with that way? Yeah, I do.
That's hilarious.
It is. So I'm going to go there a little bit. I mentioned at the beginning that we had a little bit of I want to say premonition. We were talking about that, my experience with my haunted house just briefly before we went live. And then you were mentioning that you believe you have, if you will, a tag along or whatever, however you want to say it. But you've been having some activity in your home. You said, is it almost 2 years now?
Yeah, almost 2 years. So to kind of start it off, about 2 years
I'll
ago.
just add this part. So while we were talking about it, I all of a sudden her audio kept kicking out. So you guys, well, tell whatever's there. You need to behave yourself, please. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, please behave. So yeah, it was probably fall of 2024. I was taking compost out front innocently. It was like, I don't know, like 8 o'clock at night or whatever. So dark out. And I walked out and I seen kind of like in my mind's eye, across there's like, so my road is like a dead end road and there's like a little field at the end. And I seen this entity, elemental, and treat me right out.
Okay.
And I'm like, just kept saying no. Like I didn't put my back to, I call him a him, but I didn't put my back to him. I just kind of walked back and back. I kept repeating no, went in my house and shut my door, closed the curtains, and that was that. And I'm like, okay, like I'm obviously like, I don't know, tired or like, who knows, right? And then there's just stuff that kind of kept happening. I kind of kept seeing him like sometimes in the house, sometimes outside of the house. And then things started kind of happening in the house and just different noises. And I'm kind of like, okay. And I'm one of those ones that do set my paranormal equipment up in my house.
Okay.
And, started going off kind of here and there, but it was more the feeling. I was very uneasy. I started having bad panic attacks, anxiety. And before this, I've never had anxiety, panic attacks in my entire life. I am a very go with the flow type of girl. It is what it is. And about 2 years, I'd say my panic attacks are probably at like an all-time high now. and my anxiety. So that's definitely something I'm working through. But the activity in my house the past couple months has definitely picked up.
Can I ask you, and there's no judgment, but is there a reason why you keep your equipment on in your home? If I heard you right?
Yeah, I do keep it on. I usually every night I'll set kind of something up. Unless I'm really creeped out, then I won't.
Okay.
And I do that. I think I've had a lot of people in my life pass. Most of my family is passed away. There's basically me and my sister left out of a very large family.
Wow.
So I think I just kind of always kept them up to like, if anybody's here, you can light up the cat ball or whatever, right? So all innocently, I've never like asked any spirits to come in because I'm not about that. So but yeah, and then like I got some creepy stories.
Well, I'm love to hear them. Just hold that thought because I'll probably forget, but I do want to say hi, and I don't want to. Just my brain lately is handling one thing at a time. But I want to say hi to Julie Jean Bassett. She's just popping in. You guys, she's an incredible animal communicator, pet medium, can help you with earthside animals. You got any issues? She's helped me. Helped. I know Carrie Lynn's worked with her. There's been many other people. She has an animal communication course coming up. Julie, I hope I get the date right. It's a weekend, I think February 21st to the 23rd. So check that out. I've taken it before. She's got an animal chakra course, I think, coming up too. I've taken her previous one. She's an excellent teacher. So you can get a hold of her on juliejeanbassett.com for the animal stuff. She's also an incredible energy healer and shamanic practitioner. So if you're having issues with certain things, you may want to connect with her about that. I've had a session that was life-changing with her. So the shamanic stuff is at whitetailshamanichealing.com. Okay. I said, hold that thought. You were talking about, you said, really creepy kind of stuff as well, right?
Yes.
Because do you know where this came from? Because just talking to you, this feels like it was on the property already or kind of around, and the doorway's been opened, whether your abilities have been tweaked with what you're doing, right? Like you mentioned, you're an intuitive in your bio. And so because I just got to say it, I can't let it go. I keep feeling like it's pulling energy from the equipment to pop in and out and do creepy things. But I'd love to hear your thoughts because you're the one experiencing it.
Yeah, I definitely know they're draining my energy for sure. Because I have none usually. And I don't sleep. I sleep about 4 hours a night, maybe. But it's and I could describe it like I call him a him. To me, he's a him, but I could describe him like I know, okay, not so much facial features or whatever, but kind of like long robe, black and red. And, but yeah, so my husband, he always sees like shadow figures in my house. And I do not live in an old house. I live in a 1990s cookie cutter type house, not old. But
this feels like it's on the land. Like, I don't know. And I know you've had other intuitives that may have given you a different idea, but that's what this feels like. It's old and it's been on the land.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, you're confirming the exact same things.
Because you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me.
I did not.
That's what this feels like. And there's been a doorway opened.
Yeah. I do believe that. And it's, yes. And then, so we'll see shadow figures. We were in bed one night and I have animals, but they're all kind of locked. They're kind of in different rooms. My cats have a bedroom, but nobody runs wild because I'm an overprotective mama. So, and so nobody was out in the hallway. And do you know those little door stoppers, the little springy things?
Yes.
Well, we could hear
when the babies or toddlers love to just go.
So we were laying in bed and no animal was out to do this. And all you could hear is bring the springs start going. And I'm like, to my husband, I'm like, do you hear that? I'm like, smack. And I'm like, do you hear that? So that was super creepy. And then it's just now we're hearing like disembodied voices. This is a new one. Me and my husband are both doing it. My husband is not intuitive, but we'll be in one room and it's like, what'd you say? And he's like I didn't say anything. I'm like, no, I heard you saying something. And he's like, no, I didn't. Right. So we're both kind of doing that, and it's just creepy because you're like, what, am I losing it? But you're like, no, other people are hearing it.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like they want to conquer and divide, right? Like some of the things you're sharing, that you went through stuff like this too, right? Like my kids would be at their dad's place, and all of a sudden you'd hear, "Mom, can you come here, please?" And you'd first thing you do, right? As a mom, you go and you go, "Wait, my kids aren't here. Who the heck is this?" kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, funny enough, you mentioned. So I was up in bed, and I'm like, "Oh, I had to run down to the half bath to grab something." Everything's lights are out, whatever, but I run down and I'm opening the cupboard door, and then I'm in the bathroom, and all you can hear is a little kid's voice say, "Mommy." Well, my daughter, she's like 23 and she doesn't sound like she's 5.
Right.
And I literally dropped whatever I had and I ran as fast as I could upstairs. And I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, I was so creeped out. And I mean, if I'm investigating, I'm expecting weird things to happen, but not when I'm just in my own house going down to grab whatever I need to grab.
So have you found the history of your land, of where you live? Like you said, it's a newer home, but I'm wondering about the land. Like,
I haven't done much research, but that's a definite good idea to do, because there has to be at least something, like some kind of history, or at least find out, who was on the land prior to.
Yeah, because I'm coming into this as I'm talking to you, and it doesn't feel First Nations. It feels more elemental. Yeah. But I keep hearing and feeling tobacco, and tobacco would be more First Nation. So I don't know why I'm feeling and hearing that, but it's odd that's what this is feeling like. I don't know.
I'm like, seriously have chills right now, for the fact that anybody I know that I know very well knows that I always say I can smell tobacco.
Maybe that's so weird. Now I have goosebumps because I couldn't let it go. I kept hearing that tobacco.
And I'll be like, does anybody smell that? Like, it's like the smoke, but it's like tobacco, right? And I'm like, because I say this, I would probably say I have it probably more times than I'm not. And I smell it literally all the time. I'll be like, does anybody smell that? They're like, no. They're like, do you smell your smoke again? And I'm like, nobody smokes. Nobody has cigarettes in my house. Nothing like that. No tobacco. And I always say that I can smell that.
Wow, because that's right. I was going through this in my head as I'm listening to you and going, this doesn't feel First Nations. It feels definitely elemental. And then I'm thinking, did maybe make peace with the First Nations? Did they maybe, because tobacco is so sacred in that tradition, did they maybe share a pipe or whatever? Because that's weird I couldn't let that go. That finally, if you're intuitive, right? Spirit will just keep repeating it, and we're not hearing voices, but it's over and over. And finally, it's like, I get the message. I'll say it. So that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Because everybody know, like my coworkers, everybody knows that I can always smell it.
I have never talked, like we've talked, like to set up the show, but I've never talked to you before. So that's interesting. Now, Carrie's sharing a few things here. First of all, she said, a house can be new, but the land can tell you what's going on. It's all ancient being Earth. I think you meant to say, is it an ancient earth being, Carrie? Is that what you meant to say? And then she says, tobacco is an ancient leaf used in offerings. It's in the sage family. So, because, Yeah, that's too bad. Like you said, you had all kinds of creepy stuff, and that's concerning me too. That it,
And then,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. It's okay. Go
No,
ahead.
the weirdest thing that happened, this was like 2 nights ago. And do you know when you're having a dream and you wake up, but you know in your head it's not a dream, like it, you know what I mean? Like how it's so real that it's like it's not a dream, but you're like telling yourself it is.
But it's not. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was covered up with a blanket, like kind of hiding from something in my dream, whatever this was. And I was kind of bent over, had a sheet over me or a blanket. And then all of a sudden I could feel like a finger go down my side, like just kind of rub down my side, woke me right up, creeped me out. And it was like, it couldn't have been a dream because it was too real of a sensation to, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Creepy.
I wonder because I know exactly what you mean, though I didn't experience what you did. But when I had the dream 17 plus years ago in my old home, I was out in the front yard. There was a tree out there. There was a man sitting in the tree. I won't get into all the details because I've talked about it lots, but I could still tell you exactly what he was wearing. He had a goatee, mustache, all joined, very neatly trimmed, black slick back hair. Told me he was a demon, told me his name, told me how to spell it. And I'm a retired Catholic. I called myself. I always had to go to church, Catholic school, whatever. Never heard this name before. And then about 5 years later, I was helping somebody with their paranormal activity. They were in a different country and they had a dream and they got a name in the dream. And they'd asked me, is this something negative? And I said, well, that's not my area of expertise, but let me have a look for you. And when I did, there on that same page, I think I did fall off my chair because I had looked before this, could not find this name or anything like it. There was a name, the exact spelling, the animal form it had given me, everything right there on the page that I had received 5 years before. And that dream feels like it happened 10 minutes ago, not 17 plus years ago. So I totally believe you with what you've shared. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, people are saying very ancient. They're picking up. I know Carrie added, the earth is very ancient. It is. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Carrie. She says, retired Catholic. I love that because, because that's freaking, like, have you been, like, you don't want to interact with something like that. And I know before we went live, you have somebody that you're working with, you said that is going to start helping you, but it would be interesting to know, like, what does this thing want? Like, why now, right?
Yeah, I do believe whatever this is a shapeshifter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can sense them around me. I do get creeped out a lot. And even like another story. The other night I was
free to share because I think this is important for people to hear. Like we were talking before the show, because we don't hear necessarily about these things in the paranormal investigation world with watching on TV. So it's good for people to, and you had said this yourself, right? Like for people to hear about this, that, you know, so you're aware and protect yourself, grounding, things like that. But please continue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was doing dishes the other day. So I'm at the sink doing dishes, and then all of a sudden I hear behind me, right in my ear, oh, and I'm like, turn around. I start talking to my daughter. I'm thinking it's her. And I'm like, oh, you trying to scare me? She's not there. She's up in her room, which is way far away from the kitchen. Not her, because I'm yelling up the stairs. Were you just down here? She's like, she could barely hear me. She's like, no. But it was like right in my ear, and it's happening more frequent now. But it's just like really just right up close and just like little just breaths, and like you can almost feel it. You know what I mean? Like you can just kind of right there.
Have you done any cleansing in your home or anything like that? Like not housekeeping, but cleansing? Yeah, you tried that, eh?
Yeah,
sorry.
I do try and cleanse frequently. My daughter makes sure of it. And like we kind of each other, I'm like, and in my house as well. And it's just, I don't know.
I'm reading Carrie's. That's where I was going, Carrie. That's where I was going, because this feels like a portal almost, but this is what she added. Test if you're on a ley line or earth projection. That will make it active in your house personal experience. Yeah, so you can check, to see if you're on a ley line. I've mentioned it a few times on the show. I think the course is still here. Hang on. I'll grab it. I took it, but you don't need a course to do it. But I learned all about this years ago. But where did you go? I know it's up here. I'll probably grab it after the show. But it's right in front of me. If it would have been a dog, it would have bit me. It's Diamond Dowsing by Marie Diamond. I've taken this course, and you actually use dowsing rods, and it helps you find out where there's portals, if there's portals and ley lines, if there's things like that. And then she uses actual copper rods. It came with the kit. You don't need it, but she tells you how to use copper to like negate, like basically close off that portal or energy and things like that. So it would be interesting to find out if that's what's going on. And then go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like absolutely something like that for sure.
Yeah, this feels like something's been opened and it wants something. Like it wants something, but what does it want? Right? Like when this first started for you, if you don't mind me asking, was there anything going on in your life? Have you been doing a lot of paranormal investigations or anything? Just something must have shifted, right, for you to just even
absolutely. It did actually, because about I'd say about a month before this all happened, I was doing an investigation at a prison.
Oh.
Okay. The one guy who I have interacted with before, because honestly, like I go, there's activity, but nothing out of the ordinary, like just typical, I guess you would say. And the last time we were there, we were with a smaller group, but however, there were things going on that I necessarily wouldn't agree with. Right. Provoking. It was different groups there. We were all separate, so we kind of didn't know what each other was doing, right? And well, it started there. Like I was never in tears in an investigation before, but I was like full on like bawling my eyes out. But I'm just like, it's not me. Like I'm picking it up from somebody else, And then I was getting heart
palpitations.
Yeah, my heart was just aching, and it's the first time I had to leave a location and just kind of like walk out and just have a breather. I've never had that before. And went back in. We did finish the night. However, the one guy that he can be a little difficult, he did end up coming home with me for a while. And I do know it was him because I turned my equipment on again at that time because I'm like, there's something weird. And I'm like, and then I knew it was him. It said all of everything I knew about him. It was spitting out, and it was like right down to the name. So like I knew who it was. And that went on for quite a while. And then all this started happening. I don't think the elemental, I don't pick up that it was from the prison, but it made it open because I think it made me vulnerable because I went through a hard time after that. Yeah. So maybe that's why. That's kind of like,
was your daughter with you? Was your daughter with you? Because it makes me feel, just from you sharing, and I'm just feeling intuitively with your daughter and you both being there, that you're both, I'm picking up very empathic, right? And whatever it was, it knew it could express what it was feeling sort of through the two of you, and was very drawn to your energy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it was a hard, my daughter, she didn't have too hard of a time because she can shut it off easier than I can. I struggle with being able to. And that was the first time where kind of the intuitiveness kind of I let it come out, but it's almost like I didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of like it's happening whether you like it or not. And there was really I at that time I didn't think there was anything I can do. It was just going to happen because it was just like kind of like hit you like a ton of bricks, and it was like I'm coming, and that's how it is.
Yeah. So because over the years of learning, like this became a full-time job because I didn't know what was causing all this stuff in my home at the time. And one of the most important things I learned that I really believe in is it's so important. You got to be grounded before you go. And I don't investigate in the city I'm in. I don't belong to any teams or anything, but just whenever you're working with people, say, that have dark stuff, because I have worked with that. And if I don't know what I'm doing or it's out of my realm, I use this analogy, right? If we had a leak in our tap, could we go on YouTube and probably figure out to kind of MacGyver it and fix it up? Yes. But if it was a leak and how long's my fix going to hold it, where I'm going with it, I'd probably call a plumber, right? Somebody that does it every day, is well familiar with that problem. Even though it might cost a little bit of money, I know it's going to be fixed properly is where I'm going, right? Yep. So it's the same thing. So if I have worked with people, and then again, if it's something beyond my realm, I get no shame in saying, hey, you know what, this is way beyond me. Yep. Let me connect you with someone else. But long way around to what I was trying to say. But one of the most important things I learned was how important it is to be grounded before we go deal with any kind of activity, go to an investigation, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of when we open the door, we set that parameter. And I know you probably know all this because you mentioned who your mentor is. And I know she knows all this. She's amazing. And then you close that doorway afterwards. But it sounds like and I would never tell you what you are, but just from, like you said, it's kind of when you connected with your intuitiveness, right? It was going to happen whether you wanted to or not. It was that strong that you're very empathic, right? And maybe this thing just knew that it could manipulate it. I almost feels like you called in a friend to continue whatever, and he went back to the prison.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It just feels like he wants something. I don't know. And I'm going to say he, right? Because you have male and female energy, right? And if that's what you're picking up, sounds like it feels masculine. It feels masculine to me too, but it feels like it wants something.
I connect more to even doing like reading, spiritual or anything like that. I connect more to male energy than I do female energy. So I'm kind of more like, you kind of like, yeah, I know, like, yeah, you're you're a him. That's what I'm feeling like.
Well, we've been it all anyways, right? Like
exactly.
We've all So I'm just going back a little bit with our comments here. Hang on, Victoria. So Carrie says, she's saying to Mish, I found out about tobacco being part of the sage family. She says, so she found this out researching different types of sage in a list, and tobacco was in there. Interesting. We got Benno from Oz. I think we said hi, but just in case. So Mish had asked, and then we'll get back to her comment, what part of the world are you in, Victoria?
I'm just outside of Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada.
In Canada. Yeah. So she's in Canada. No, she doesn't live close to me, but Ontario is a big, big province. Let's see. Oh, and Carrie already answered it. She goes, she lived in Ontario, Mish. So Benno's adding, tobacco is a traditional offering, but some plants are specific to ancient cultures other than tobacco too. Yeah. I think you might have hopped in just as we were starting to talk about it, Benno. But when Victoria was telling us about her experience and what's been happening, I kept hearing and feeling tobacco so loudly, but it didn't feel First Nations, because that's a very common gift for trading and, to a sign of respect, to give a First Nations person in this area. I can't speak for around the rest of the world because I'm not familiar with all of the different cultures. But, and then you had said, isn't that weird that you've been smelling tobacco? So hang on, I'm just going to get rid of that comment. So, but thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it. So, well, so we can go anywhere you want to go. I'll do the station ID, but I know you said you shared some EVPs from some of your investigations. If there's certain cases you'd like to talk about, anything, but just give me a sec. We'll do the station ID before I forget. So if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast and Mississippi, and 107.7 FM in the beautiful city of New Orleans to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is the Angel Rock. We are live. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin, and my wonderful guest this evening is Victoria Cheeseman of Astral Light Paranormal. And just a few little other things. We've got many shows coming up. I think we've got at least 2 after this show tonight. So stay tuned in about another hour for Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron with The Lake Gate. And we do stream multiple shows, several of them live daily. And when we're not streaming live, actually the archive server kicks into the last 25 plus years. So we actually are technically live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you guys ever want to check out our website, it is getting revamped. So it's www.uprntalkradio.com. I hear through the grapevine that we are getting a chat room there. I know it was a couple months ago, people were worried, is there going to be a charge for it? Or, and as far as I know, no. But I think it's kind of cool because 80% of our listening audience is overseas. So if you guys are listening and you're thinking, well, where are all these comments? How are we answering all these questions? And you want to join in when the website comes, that's one way you can do it. Or when it gets revamped with the chat room, you can join there, or you can join us on different platforms on Facebook or YouTube, Twitch. We're on Rumble, we're on TikTok under either Lorilei Potvin or the Angel Rock or UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. So you can find us on there. And I think I remembered everything else. Oh, one other thing I forgot to say. It's not all just UFO and paranormal on the network. We do really have something for everybody here. I don't know how many live hosts we're up to right now. Heidi, I saw you. That's what I forgot to say hi to. Heidi Gall, I saw you pop in. Hi, Audrey, if you're with Grandma. I seen you were out with them. Heidi, I got to give her a huge shout out. We love all of you. We appreciate all of you that you share and that you tell people about the shows that we have. I don't know how Heidi does this. She puts together this post and puts all the shows and the hosts and she shares them. But I think we're between 30 and 40 live hosts. We're always adding new shows, you guys. So if you like what you see, please like, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends and family about us. So, you Googled Canada, Mish, because so Canada is big, in other words, because she said, Carrie says, hilarious. I was in Los Angeles years ago and told someone I lived in Calgary. They asked if it was close to Toronto. Yeah, a day's walk, no problem. Okay, I'm going to laugh about that because I have a dear friend in Australia. Nobody here from Australia. It's another friend. And they said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My boy's coming to play in Canada. Are you going to see him? First of all, I go, who is your boy? And then they mentioned his name and it was a country artist. I said, I'm sorry. That's just not my genre. So I said, well, where are they playing? Oh, well, they're playing in Calgary. And I went, oh dear God, girl, do you know how big Canada is? I've never even been to Calgary. Like it would be
other
3.5. You haven't either?
No.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 hour drive, probably longer for you too, if you drove by car to get to Calgary. And she goes, oh, I didn't realize. And I said, yeah, well, you got to look up Canada and see how big Canada is compared to Australia. And so I said, that's really sweet, honey. But no, I would not get to see your boyfriend. It was sweet, though. Well, have you ever had people ask you, like I have seriously had people ask me, not so much as of late, but like about, say, 10, 15 years ago when they found out I lived in Canada, do we ride a moose to work? Do we live in igloos? And they were serious. Like, I swear to God, they were serious.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been as of late. This has been quite a few years ago, but I had people ask me that. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Not recently.
No. That's why I always joke and say, no, I haven't driven a moose to work. No, we don't live in igloos.
No.
And the interesting fact, okay, because my hubby Dell does quite a bit of research, and at one time he did have a show on this network, and he's realized this, and so have I, that the majority of Canadians live within a 100-mile radius of the U.S. border. Believe it or not, guys. So we're pretty close to the U.S. border. Oh, we see Sonia Roy here. Hello, Sonia. I was talking about you today recently in a good way. She says actually Canada and Australia are almost the same size. I don't think so. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at that, but I don't think so. I think you can get quite a few Australias into Canada if you look at all of our provinces and everything else. But thanks for popping in. Okay, so we're going to talk more. So where do you want to go with this conversation? You want to talk about some more creepy stuff in your house? Because you mentioned shadow people. And I'll preface that. Question. I'll preface that. So some of the things you've mentioned are very familiar to what was going on in our home. Like we had the main character, I'll call it, that I have pictures of it being on as a black mist. We had with the boys, my two boys and Dell could see it in the mind's eye. They named it the Shy Guy. So back in the day when Super Nintendo came out, there's a little character. It looked like a little short guy with the hood and the robe and then a white hockey mask. They could all see it. Then the shapeshifter, we believe, was female because it was always a female voice, or when she'd mimic my kids' voices, their voices hadn't changed yet. And then we had the Hat Man, the Hat Man, Shadow Man. So feel free, please, if you want to tell us more about your story, I'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, well, my husband's usually the ones that sees the shadow people in my house. He sees them a lot in our bedroom.
Okay.
Like laying in bed or whatever, and he's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, like what?" And he'll be like, "No, I see the shadow." Like he does see them a lot, and he's seen them a lot for quite a while, probably even before my stuff started. So yeah, like he's always like, there's something up with this house. That's his thing. He's like, there's something up with this house, because sometimes it almost feels like they're trying to create tension between all of us. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Right? Where you walk in, like everybody's fine when they're out, all, shiny, happy, whatever. And then you get back and you're just like, you're just like on each other's, like, you're just like.
Because it feeds from it, right?
Yeah.
Like we figured out in our old house that it was almost like an oval column right from the basement straight up was where most of the activity was. Depression, or there's like fights and arguments. That's what made me, I just was really interested in this because this Marie Diamond was, and you can find her stuff on YouTube if you go far enough back. She was part of when the book The Secret came out. There was a documentary, and she was part of the documentary. I didn't realize, I don't even know how I found this course. It showed up, it was a master class, and I took it. But then the full course, you could purchase it, and they made it really reasonable. You could purchase it in increments, but they'd send you the whole course. And I've never been sad taking this, but that's what she talked about. So she says she's from Belgium, and she said over in Europe, it was very common to use dowsers for many, many different things with energy. And very unfortunately, her dad died at home, but he died of stomach cancer. But he was ill for quite a long time, always slept in the same spot on the side of the bed. So after her father passed, Marie's mom started sleeping on the same side of where her dad slept. All of a sudden, she's getting stomach pain in the same spot. She's starting to get the same symptoms. And what happened was Marie, they called in a dowser because he knew enough about this. And what had happened was the dowser was able to connect that right where her father was laying. And she made this very clear. This did not cause her father's cancer. But where he would lay on the bed, there was intersecting ley lines below as well as underground water. And it weakened his energy body and anything else to be able to fight against cancer. So did her mom develop cancer laying in the same spot? No, but she started to develop the same symptoms because, again, it was affecting her energy body. And, we have many layers to our energy field and what have you.
Yeah.
So they were able to, with the copper, she actually measures them in cubits, but a cubit I think is 18 point something inches, and it came with the copper rods to use for different things. Again, you could use any copper rods. You could probably find this course somewhere online for free. It's called diamond dowsing. Anyways, what she talked about is kind of what you just mentioned. So she moved to America with her husband and her daughter, and they'd be getting along great all night long. They'd go to bed, and all of a sudden, arguments, bickering, fighting, like just, it's like, what? And she started to look at this because she's always been intuitive. And she's going, what the heck is going on? That like we're perfectly fine until we go up to the bedroom. So, anyways, long story short, ley lines were below right on, I think it was right through the center of their bed. Oh, plus it was her little boy, not her daughter, sorry. Her little boy was toilet trained. When they moved into the new house in the US, he started having nightmares, becoming incontinent, bedwetting. Again, he had some energy things going on around his bed. Once it was corrected, end of story.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But I also know if you have something that's a little bit more negative or dark, it's almost like it manipulates things, right? To get you nattering or nitpicking or doubting yourself, or, you're irritated, little arguments, little things, because it feeds off that, as well as fear too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like I was telling Lorilei before we started, like even showering at night, which seems ridiculous, but showering even when it's dark, I literally will get my husband to go sit in the bedroom because we have like an adjoining bathroom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you sit in the bedroom, just because like I'm literally creeped out. Like I'm constantly on edge, but it's only like once it gets dark, kind of like when I seen him outside, when it gets dark, it's just like, I literally, all my curtains are shut. I do not look out the windows at all. And I was never like that before, because I love the nighttime, but I don't go outside by myself anymore at night. And it's just, it's definitely, it's hindered a lot of things, I would say. So, and I do have panic attacks now too. And I mean, I've had them at work. I've had them, and that's just, it's out of character for me. So.
Wow. So, well, hopefully, like you were mentioning, your mentor that might be able to come in and help you with that. Because I don't know why I keep feeling like this thing wants something, maybe just the energy. Like I know in our home too, everything was broken. Even brand new things would break. You'd have people come in. Like I remember our stove, a brand new, the element in the bottom of the stove was broken. We kept trying to replace it. It would break. So all we could use was the broiler. I think we went through 13 tires on one of our vehicles. Like all the batteries would be charged and cameras and everything. All of a sudden could be 10 minutes later, all zapped down to nothing. So it's
that's like the TV. Well, it's so weird last night, now that you mentioned electronics and stuff. Because I was literally like, I was sitting on the couch, so I kind of like shift my TV and angle it a little bit. And I went to touch it, and the whole thing, the whole screen, it just shut down and came back up. My husband's like, he was sitting in the room with me, and I'm like, oh, it's probably just, obviously I have a lot of static or whatever, but I'm like, he's like, that's really weird, because you could just see it, and then it goes right back up as soon as I walk away from it.
Wow, that's crazy. Crazy. So, because that's what this feels like. Like it wants something, and even if it's just energetically to manifest it, create more, because it feels very like mischief, like really, really mischief. Like it doesn't necessarily feel super evil, but it likes to create. I just heard the word chaos. Loves to create chaos. Like, you know what? And the more energy it can gather, feed off of, the stronger it kind of gets. Yeah. Carrie says she'd be willing to help you too if you need it.
Oh, well, thank you.
The other thing is, I was thinking when we get off here, I have a few things I'd love to share with you, because we ended up leaving our home because it was like our whole neighborhood was affected. And every time we seemed to be able to be talking to someone that could help us, they'd either they get called in a different direction. Some either they or a family member would get sick. I even reached out to local female shamans here, and I knew the woman was picking up what was going on because she was telling me, like, I was sitting outside and she was telling me, oh yeah, you have a crow in that tree, and you have, like, she was picking everything up. And she said, yeah, I'll call. And she kept saying, she said, I'm a pipe holder. And I'm going, pipe holder, pipe. Oh, okay. Traditional. Because we mainly have Ojibwe up here in Thunder Bay. We do have Cree as well. And she said that now I know what this is all about, because she said, my bear has been fighting with me in my dreams. And I'm going, your bear, you got to tell me a little bit more. Like, this was years ago, before I know a lot more now. And she said, well, my animal guide is a bear and we've been fighting. And he's been telling me there's going to be a fight that's coming, right? So she's telling me all this stuff, and she goes, well, let me, I don't know, she had somebody she could connect with, that they would smoke the pipe together, not physically, but you know what I mean, like together. And I never heard from her. So I call her back about 2 weeks later, and this one wanted nothing to do with me. You could tell, like, she just like, yeah, no, I got nothing I can help you with. No. Like that, this would happen constantly. Like, whenever we got help. I remember one time I was talking to this couple out in British Columbia, and they seemed like they might be coming back this way. They had like a summer home in Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's about 7.5 hours from where I am. After I get off the phone, like video with them, my tailbone starts itching and like almost burning, going, what the heck? So I go look in the mirror, and I have a picture of it. It looks like somebody took a cigar and burnt my tailbone. Like, it was a huge blister. Yeah. We had like terrible stuff. Like, we never got it dealt with. We left the house. We just left. Like I said, it's a longer story than I'm going to get into tonight, but I now have somebody that I could kind of check in with, and they did check in and just close off anything, because they were horrified that we had left. But I also know a lot more now than I did. You know, this was years ago in the previous home. So,
Wow.
Yeah, because I was going to suggest I know someone too, but Carrie, I know Carrie knows quite a bit too, because you need to have somebody, again, kind of like, can you fix your pipes looking on YouTube? Yep. But who do you want? Someone that is looking at YouTube, or someone that does it every day and deals with it, right?
Exactly. Big difference.
Right? Big difference.
Yeah.
Wow. So is there anything else you want to share about that? You're welcome to. I just want to make sure I play your EVPs, because they're
no, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, I think. But thank you for letting me share.
No, I'm glad that you did. Before we go to the EVPs, we still have time, but I think it's important for people to hear this, because, you know, most people, like I used to, not so much now, but in my previous home, I always used to find if somebody needed help, then they'd reach out. It would be usually a younger male, late teens, early 20s, kind of a bit of a loner, right? Always kind of wanting to fit in, started watching paranormal shows, and they'd end up going to really famously haunted places wherever they lived. But they'd always go by themselves, and a lot of them would end up taking something from the space and bringing it back home, and then they couldn't figure out why all hell broke loose, and they were looking for help, right?
Yeah.
Because people see what they see on TV, but they don't realize that it's most of it isn't real, what you see on TV, even if they call it reality TV, right?
No, not at all.
So that's why it's important, and I'm grateful that you were open to sharing some of your experience, because it does happen, and it's real.
Yeah, it is, because I, like, when we started, it was, like I said, with my daughter, but you really don't think of the bad things, I guess, that can happen, right? And so now I am very selective on, like, where we go. I mean, because my family's dealing with this with me, right? Because they're seeing me. They're not affected like I am, but they see me and how I am, and they see that it's hard on me. So it's kind of like they're very protective over me too. Like, I don't know if we should go there. Like, like, so, and so I'm very grateful for that, because they're great, and I mean they're my rocks, right? So.
No, but it can happen. Like Carrie, so I got to go up a little higher here. Oh, sorry, I was seeing on TikTok it said live gifting suspended appeal. I'm telling you, I don't know who does this. Like why I had to appeal it. So Michelle's still here. Oh, Michelle's sharing herself. I learned patience tapped into my spiritual beliefs. She said I've lost two sisters, my husbands and parents, and I was angry with everything. It was more a lesson about forgetting and tapping into my spiritual side, and I believe that. And I'm sorry for your losses, so thank you for sharing. Carrie is saying, I live the horror and just coming out of it. I sympathize greatly. So do I, because I've been there before too. Mm-hmm. Carrie's also sharing, our cat was born in the house, always seemed unsettled and shy. She is now chatting and constantly affected. Because that's one of the questions I ask people. Do you have small children when I'm helping them, or do you have animals? And if you have either, what are you seeing? So I didn't ask you that. Do you have pets, or are you seeing anything with your pets if you have them?
I do have quite a few pets. Not the odd time, but nothing really that stands out. And I don't know if that's maybe just because maybe honestly, maybe they're used to it. I don't know. Can they get used to it? I'm not sure. But sometimes my cats will kind of, kind of like look, kind of how cats are kind of like looking around. But overall, I don't see them really like creeped out or bothered by anything, or really like to where I would take notice to them kind of looking somewhere.
That's kind of a positive in a way, right? Because usually you're like, I, again, and I don't know all the answers, but I truly believe that small children and animals can see across, even if there is a veil right now, can see. So, I always remind people, so we were all little children once, which means even though we think we may not be intuitive, I think that life happens. We get told you're getting too old for that. It's just part of your imagination, whatever it is. But that's still there, right? So it's almost like I like to liken it like, learning how to ride the bike again, if you will, right? If you've learned how to ride a bike as a little kiddo, you can still connect with it. So I think we are intuitive as human beings, and animals in particular. Like, I think if it was something really negative, and guys, feel free to share. Yeah, Kevin's saying the same thing. Feel free to share if you think it's something, like if you think differently, because I can tell you my animals react if there's like my dog. I know even before I pick something up if there's something here, because somebody sent me something a couple of years ago. I don't think it was intentional. I think they were upset about something and didn't realize how powerful they were. And my dog was telling me where it was. Like she doesn't do this. She's a German Shepherd. It's kind of an open concept circle on the main floor. We live in a townhouse now, and she'd start tracking, go behind. There's a bigger chair I usually sit in by our sliding glass doors. She'd poke her head in, she'd turn around, and she'd look at me like, Mom, Mom. And then she'd keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And so, yeah, usually your animals let you know. So I'm going to share the comments here because Kevin or Z-Sun Dragon said maybe it's not a threat then, Victoria. I think it's very chaotic and mischievous is what I feel like. And you know what? Anything that you can't go to your home and rest in, home should be your sanctuary. It's a problem. Definitely. Because Contessa said, I think animals freak out if it's bad. It feels to me like it wants something. I don't know what it wants, and like I said, I didn't know about the tobacco thing until we talked. I couldn't let the tobacco thing go. So I'm not sure, but again, the person you're working with too, like is one of your mentors. They're a medium. They may be able to tap in and find out, like, what are you wanting, dude? Like, what's going on? Because you can use crystal too. You can use blessed Saint Benedictine medals, like the little medals. You can put them on all four corners. Like there's lots of different things you can do, because it doesn't matter whether it's not that bad or not. When it's disturbing you, and like you said, you can't take a shower, you don't feel comfortable. I know Heidi mentioned something about that herself. It's disrupting your family life, and it needs to stop, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Carrie says she is on a projection. She said they want to be released is what they want. It could be because it feels like they want something to me. Like kind of like why are you here? What for whatever reason they know that doorway is open. Especially I think with you and your daughter, they know you can see them. They know you can feel them. They know when they're there. So they don't belong there. So it doesn't matter if they're evil, chaotic, whatever they are, they're disrupting your life.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
Yeah. So that's a problem. And it's got to stop. Right. So, okay, let's talk about a little bit about, because you sent me some cool EVPs. So do you want to talk a little bit about them and then maybe we can play them?
Yes. So these were both, we both got these both EVPs at a museum in Westport, Ontario, Rideau District Museum. Okay. It is one of our regular places we do investigate.
Can you tell people a little bit about it? Like what it is? Okay.
So it's a museum for the community. It's in an old building that used to be, I believe, a blacksmith shop. I'm sure it was a multitude of things, but kind of workshop down on the main level, and then like kind of the living quarters on the top. But it's all it's like all wood, like mechanical stuff. It's anything and everything is in there. It's an amazing museum. But there is, we've picked up on a few spirits there. But yeah, it's basically, it's set up like in a certain spot, all the old blacksmiths area, and then some other, pretty much anything and everything that a community would have. So, okay, but it is a very old kind of like barn building.
So back in the day
building, yeah.
Okay, so this first one I'm going to pull up. Hang on, I'll share the screen. Let's see, are you going to let me do this? Sorry, let me go back. I want to make sure it's not playing it. Of course, it's got it on mute, so good thing I saw that. Okay. Did it pull it up? It did, okay. Sometimes it'll pull it up, sometimes it won't. So hang on, we'll put the volume on. If I go, oh, good. Okay, hang on. I don't usually play. This is a good way to share it, though. Okay, hey, I'll let it play a couple times. So, do you want to set this up? So the first one, it was, who were you talking to, or were you exactly with it? Like, why did you get this response, kind of thing, Victoria?
If I'm thinking, if it's the right one, I'm not sure. I have two. I'm not sure which one is two, which one it is. But
okay, this. Play it. Okay, let's play it. Yeah, let's play it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll play it and then. Okay, hang on.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Tom, is your last name Lowry?
I'll play it one more time. Hang on. Okay, go back. Okay.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Tom.
Okay, so can you set the, so it sounds like, I'm guessing your hubby maybe and your daughter speaking, asking if Tom's last name is Lowry, and then the EVP says, don't tell them. Okay, so can you give us a little bit more about that, a little bit more info?
So this was upstairs in the kind of the living quarters where the families would have lived. Tom Lowry, there is a trunk. He was a British home child, which I tried to connect with him because my grandfather is a British home child. So I try and I'm like, oh, like there's kind of that connection. So we were trying to get in contact.
Okay, so what's a home child?
So basically back in, I'm not sure when it started. My grandpa, I think it was 1923. Basically, they were in the UK, and it was maybe poor families. I know my grandfather was in a sheltering home because I don't know if his family, they couldn't take care of them or whatever the case may be. And basically, the kids were taken and shipped off to either, say, Canada. I know some went to Australia and then worked on farms until they were of a specific age. I'm sure there's way more detail into that, but that's kind of like the basic.
Okay.
They were basically taken from their family and shipped off.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and my grandfather,
so this is who you were connecting with then, you believe?
Yes. So, and he was a kid. There is kid spirits there that we have talked to. There's a few of them. So yeah, we think this was either Tom or maybe a friend of Tom there saying, don't tell them you're here or whatever the case may be.
So did you have any reason for thinking there would be an EVP, or did you pick this up at the end when you were after you were home and doing an evidence review?
All of our EVPs we catch on our video cameras.
Wow.
So we've never caught one on a voice recorder before. All of them are caught on just video cameras. So we just like letting them play or, kind of setting it up and leaving it. But so that one was caught on our video camera.
Okay, so when you did it though, like, did you hear it with your ears, or did you pick it up after you reviewed what you had kind of recorded?
Yeah, we didn't pick up anything. We didn't hear anything at the time. So yeah, it was basically when we reviewed it was the first time that we heard it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that would make sense to pick it up on a video recorder, because I have actually a file I keep now, because Carrie Lynn and I have gotten so many EVPs. I've had EVPs on shows. Usually Aziz Dragon or Kevin, he'll be the one who message me, oh, by the way, check it out here. He'll clip it and send it. And there's been quite a few, but you don't hear it. There is one in particular on a Thursday night, though. I don't know if I heard it so much. I remember Carrie Lynn did, like, right to the left of her. She goes, what the? And she jumps and you can hear and see it. Like, that one was really loud. But other times it'll be people maybe listening. They'll think they heard it. And then when you review it afterwards, you go, holy crap. Yeah, that was an EVP. So,
yeah.
Okay, let me play this second one, because both of them are really good. So thank you for sharing them this way. Oh, come on, play nice. Okay. It's just loading up. Sorry, guys. Things slow down. I do have faster internet, but I'm telling you, it slows down whenever I try and play something. Okay, share screen. Okay, let's see. Where are you? You are right there. Share. Okay, give me a sec. Yes. Did it pull it up this time? Yeah, it did. Okay. It finally pulled it up. Hang on. Okay. Give me a sec here. Anytime now. I'm waiting for it to load. Okay. There we go. Oh, this is so weird with the volume, the way it does things. Now I know I can make it bigger. Okay. This is the second one, guys. Come on.
They're all up.
Are they all upstairs? Where would you like us to go?
That one was a lot louder, I thought, so I won't play it twice. Okay, so was that at the same investigation, or was this a different investigation?
It was a different one, same location.
Wow.
So we
So
were
do
we
you
were
think maybe you've built a
downstairs.
bit of it? Okay.
Yeah, no,
So
we
I
were
don't know if we're got
downstairs at. Oh, sorry.
no, we've got to pause. So you go ahead. Go ahead and I'll stop
Okay.
talking.
No, we were downstairs in the workshop area at this one, and I had the spirit box on, so that's so you hear me talking and my husband's asking me questions, and then this voice, same thing, we didn't hear it until we reviewed it at home.
Wow. So, and do you think maybe it was the same type, same spirit or a different spirit, but because you've been there a few times that the spirits kind of trust you, so this is why you're picking up more communication?
I think so, because we have our regular locations that we go to a few times a year, and our we really do want to build that relationship so they trust us. So we work really hard to build that. So I think that's why, at least I hope that's why they're wanting to communicate with us.
Hmm. Well, it did say don't go. So, I mean, that again, it could have maybe meant something else, but to me, it didn't want you to go.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, thank you for sharing those. Those are excellent because when I have people that do
Welcome.
paranormal investigations, I always say to them, if you have any EVPs or you have pictures or video clips, feel free to share them because, you know, it's interesting to hear things like this. And again, well, you know what I'm going to ask you? What's your thoughts on, and there is no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious. What's your thoughts on why, like when we got a recorder going or a video recorder and we may ask questions and we think that nothing has happened and then we review it and we hear the answer? What's your thoughts on it? Or anybody in the chat, why do you think we can't hear it with our ears, yet the recording equipment picks it up?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know, maybe different frequency that our ears don't pick up that maybe the machines do. I honestly don't know.
I don't either. Like I've heard theories and stuff, but to me, and then there'll be other times when you'll hear it clear as day and it may get picked up by a recording device or it doesn't. Like I don't know why it's coming to memory. This made the news, I think, in the early summer last year. It was a really tragic story. It was in the US, and it was this mom driving, and it was, I think, black ice, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was black ice. And she had her 18-month-old daughter in the car. And very sadly, she went through a guardrail and ended upside down in the creek below this bridge. Well, the rescue people all came, right? And it was being recorded by body cams. And very sadly, they realized that the mom was no longer with us. They had no idea that her daughter was in the car seat in the back. And they all swore up and down. There was 4 to 6 of them, like police officers as well
Mhm.
as fire and paramedic. They all heard something to the effect of, "Help my daughter, she's in the back seat." Yet the recording equipment didn't pick it up, but they heard it, they saved their daughter, and that's how they found her daughter, right?
Wow.
Like there's no rhyme or reason because we
No.
hear it, but the equipment does. And there's a prime example of we hear it, but
Yeah,
the equipment didn't pick it up. Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
Wow.
Like, and these guys, none of them were believers in the paranormal or anything, but they all said they had no idea. I guess with the way the car had landed upside down in the water, that they had no idea that the car seat was there. The little one was in the back seat. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
Oh, Julie's saying, I heard about that. She goes, it was amazing. Yeah, it was, wasn't it, Julie? And then this is a good point. She said, I'd like to know why we don't hear more EVPs in movies and TV shows, wondering if they filter them out.
Huh. Never thought of that.
I think they do in editing, but there are live TV events. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why. Yeah, Contessa saying good question, Mish. Yeah, I wonder too, because there are live events where you think you would hear you'd hear an EVP caught.
It's true. Wow, I never thought of that. Now I'm going to be listening.
Well, yeah, or when it's a live. Well, you think about even though on TV, because TV now, what they have that 5 to 10 second delay on all live events because of things. Remember when Justin Timberlake, I think it was Janet Jackson with the Super Bowl that one year. So now whenever it's live, there's a delay, right? So they can be quick and edit it out. So I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a good question. Everybody's asking that. And then Miss said, I think they felt. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Victoria. Sorry.
No, I said that is a good question.
Well, she said, I think they felt no one would have survived. Are you talking, Mish, about the story about the little one in the back seat? Yeah. Like, was it the mom? Was it an angel? Like, I don't know, because like I'm telling you, I've witnessed some incredible, miraculous things, like I said, at the bedside when people are transitioning from this lifetime, when they're leaving this, we'll say earthside, some of the things. And I know some cameras have picked up some incredible things. I don't know, just asking you out of curiosity, have you ever seen, I think it's on YouTube and it's called 10 or 15 times angels were caught on camera or something. And it's in a mall. It's on a security camera. And it looks like this super huge bright light. I think it was in the Philippines or somewhere. It comes flying down super, super, super fast. It's like a bended knee, almost like bended knee with wings. It's light. And just as fast as it touches down, it goes right up. And all of a sudden, all these people start running towards it. Have you ever seen it?
No.
And it's old. Like, it's way before AI. It was on a security camera. Like, if you find the right one, there's another one in there that I know has been the subject of controversy for years. And again, it has to do with angels being caught on camera. It's on a Chinese traffic cam about 3 a.m. And there is a little old man riding on his bicycle. And out of nowhere, this traffic van starts running, like going super fast. Looks like it's going to hit him. All of a sudden you see a flash. And again, this is well before AI. Okay. I think right when maybe Photoshop was coming out, but this is again an official camera it's not like somebody just taking it with a video. Next thing you know, brilliant flash of light, man's on the side of the road, perfectly unharmed. And the guy that thought he hit him with the traffic cam slams on the brakes. You can see this all in the video. He gets out and he starts looking under his car. He thinks he's just killed someone. And then this little man off on the side of the road, there's somebody with a hoodie on, very slight, dark jeans. The hands look like they're glowing. They put them in their pockets and it walks off camera.
Wow.
Wow. It's crazy. Because, like, again, nowadays you have to be so careful with AI and even back then with Photoshop. But these are the types of cameras that people didn't have a lot of control over, especially back in the day. Like, I think those 2 videos have been out for at least, I'm going to say 15 years.
Oh, really? Wow. I have to find them.
Yeah. I'll see if I find them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm always fascinated with stuff like that, right? Like, you always hear with paranormal shows and stuff, people like it's a sensationalism almost that sells, right? Like we've seen provocation with the paranormal, or everybody thinks it's a demon or whatever it is. But there's a lot of good things in the world too that come from the spirit side as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any experiences, positive ones like that? Like, it doesn't have to be an angel, but say, really positive interaction in your investigations with a spirit with some of the places you're more familiar with?
We have, I would honestly say, mostly positive experiences. Very seldom, even before this whole thing, the prison, I never had any I'm going to say bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We do have this one location we go to. It's like an old town hall. Um, it's not going to be like lighting up REM pods. Like it's not nonstop
Yeah.
action. It's not. It's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you may not get much, but the one
And that's
time we were there, yeah, and one time we were there, like we're all about getting the meaningful stuff, not the flashy stuff, right? So, but there was this lady, one spirit there. Her name's Connie, and her love, whoever I can't remember his name, John maybe. But we're like, what can we bring you? Like we always say, what can we bring you, something that'll make you happy? That's kind of what we do, right?
I love that.
And so we got over on the spirit box, we got music. So my husband started playing like old school music, kind of like big band, kind of ragtime. And so we put some cat balls on the dance floor, like the ballroom, and we played the music and they literally just started lighting up.
Oh,
like,
mm-hmm.
And so that went on for like, we had the music on probably 5 to 10 minutes, depending, a couple songs, and literally the whole time. And then it was just like they were dancing, and it was just like, it was so heartwarming, and it was that warm, fuzzy moment.
But that's the things that we don't talk about, right? And you know what, I didn't tell you this before the show, but I do this before every show. Most people I don't meet till 2 minutes before they come on. Like we might email or whatever. But I always say to Spirit before I do the show, okay, Spirit, where are we going with things? And then just trust and know that Spirit knows who's going to see the show live and who's going to see the replay. And it's just a conversation. So I'm really glad that you shared that story, because what a beautiful story. And we don't hear enough of these types of stories, right? Like you said, it doesn't have to be flashy. That's more meaningful. At least I would find it, to hear that story than, everything's a demon, everything's out to hurt us. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it's just, it's one of those places. Yeah. Like, some people may be like, well, there's nothing going on. And honestly, sometimes there isn't, but it's those little things that you get. And it's just, it means so much to me, because once you go there so many times, like I care about those spirits like they're my family, like I really do. And I'm protective over them, and I want them to be happy. So I'm like, and if I know that they're happy, well, I mean, I think I'm happy. I'm happy in the job that I did if they're happy,
That was just giving me a thought, though, for things at your home too. You have a lot of positive love on the other side. We all do, but you had shared that you've lost quite a few family members. You can always call on them, when you're experiencing something that maybe makes you feel uneasy or frightened or whatever that is. You can call on them, or same as angels, but our whole team, right, is around us. Our family is around us. You can ask them to come in and take watch, if you will, so that, or say you are having a panic attack, ask them to come and help, maybe calm you with their energy or whatever that might be. And maybe you do that. I don't know, but because we forget, right? We have our loved ones. I feel like they never ever really leave us, because we're not living by body. And right, they're here. The best, I always say, gift we can give our loved ones is to live a, positive, loving, happy life for ourselves, even though it's difficult when we lose the ones that we love. And they want that for us. I really believe it.
Yeah, I always, usually, a lot of times I'll call in my spirit guides. I have 3 main ones I work with. And my kitty, who passed away last year, she is on my spirit team. This necklace is actually, I got it made for her. It has her birthstone and her name is engraved on it. So
I have Justin's, my son Justin's. It came with a little kit. And I don't know if you guys can see it. It's got angel wings that open, and there's a little saying, and then there's a little bit of his ashes in the bottom. So that's what I meant for anybody listening. because we do have loved ones. We always have our team. We have our guides too, and angels, ascended masters, elementals, all kinds of things, right? But we also have our loved ones, our ancestors on the other side too, that are more than willing to come in and help. All we need to do is ask, right? So,
Yeah.
So
true.
Who loves you more than your loved ones, right? That were here in
Right?
this
Yeah,
lifetime.
exactly.
So Mish was saying it was 11:11. Why did I think it was earlier over there for some reason, Mish? I know because she said, she said, I remember hearing once that 3 men and a little lady had ghosts in it, not intentional. Well, that could be a whole different show talking about, yeah, you're right. I've heard that about that too, Mish, about that movie. And then you said, oh, sorry, I went too high here. Yes, talking about, I think it said, the girl they found alive in the car. The car had been there a while. I don't think it was there that long, the car, because there was water rushing in and the little one was starting to get hypothermia. Like I said, but they didn't know, like this accident had just happened. And I think that a call for help had gone in and they were thinking they were just going to be saving the mother. So she says it's 11:11 there. And then she said she always gets excited when I see it. 11:11 or 1:11. Yep. I sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes not even paying attention. Sometimes I'll see it 4 times a day without even, like, it's just like, oh, what time is it? Oh, you got to be kidding me. It's like 11:11, 1:11. That's PM. Then 11:11 PM and then 1:11 AM.
Yeah, so I do that a lot.
Yeah. And then Mish says, hugs to all, listening, however, need to get ready for something. Well, you get ready for your something. We've only got a few more minutes. So if you got anything coming up that you want to share with people or anything that you want to let people know, because you guys have an active page on Facebook and YouTube as well. So, if you got anything that you want people to maybe pop in and see, or like I say, that's coming up.
Yeah, well, this year we're kind of doing a new thing. We're trying to concentrate more on outside locations.
Okay.
There's kind of like there's a forest up around me that's it kind of gives me and my daughter like a weird, not like a scary vibe, but kind of like a weird vibe, like there's something going on there. So our mission is we're going to kind of try and do a lot more outside. Now, I know it's harder to do like, controlled experiments, but that's kind of our mission this year. And we want to try and do some kind of outside, like War of 1812 sites if we can.
Ooh.
And I seem to be very in tune to military. My husband's military, he's retired military, but military spirits I do pick up on very easily. So we're kind of going to try and go in that direction as well. So we're just, excited for the start up the new year and new locations.
So you're just waiting, I guess, until the snow settles a bit in the weather.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. So when do you guys ever do live investigations, or do you just like video it and then edit and put it up on your social media? Oh my God, Carrie, you are reading my freaking mind. I was not going to say this. But I have to. She's reading my freaking mind. I was going to say this and I thought, no, I won't. So Carrie says, maybe she has Bigfoot as a neighbor back in that forest. That's exactly what I was thinking. I have I have freaking goosebumps because I kept hearing it. I'm going, I'm not going to say it. So what does Carrie do? She types it. Oh my gosh.
Highly probable.
Well, you know what? The Bigfoot can be very intelligent and very,
Yeah.
Okay, so now go ahead, sorry.
It's one of those places that you go in and it's not a bad feeling. It's not a bad vibe, but you feel like you're watched. Everywhere you go, you feel like you're watched.
I'm just so blown away because I was going to say it about the forest and I thought, no, I won't say it. And then that's why I read it, because she just typed exactly what I was thinking. Oh my gosh.
Maybe we'll find out.
So Heidi's going, love it. And Carrie's saying, just working the telepathic telephone. I'll tell you, Carrie, because that blows my mind. Heidi wants us to set. She goes, you can send us some snow. Weirdest winter ever in the Mile High. Because you're in Colorado, right, Heidi? Because have you guys had way more snow? Like we have had so much freaking snow, it's not even funny, and bitter cold.
Oh, it's freezing. Like we were almost minus 40 wind chill the other day, but the snow is like up, like almost up to hitting the branches on the tree in my front yard. Like I have a big maple and it's almost hitting the bottom branches of the maple.
Our snow, because we've had some beautiful winters the last couple of winters, our snow and meters, I'm trying to think meters because I learned imperial, but it has to be about 4 to 6 feet high, like the snowbanks. And even my husband's truck he was supposed to work on, I didn't clear the snow off. It is so high, it's not even funny. Like I talk about having great neighbors because I can't shovel. They looked after me so well because it started Christmas Day and it's been coming every couple days with snow. And then it goes your way because it comes from us to you guys.
Yeah, it does because we're getting a snowstorm tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, we have a few minutes. I'm so glad I had you on. I want to have you on again. Maybe we'll have Carrie Lynn on and we can have a really fun paranormal talk too. So, so when you start like venturing into the new ventures, that's what I started to ask you before I got my mind blown by Carrie is, do you guys do live events or do you, film certain parts and then put them up? Like what can people expect?
Yeah, we film and then we'll edit and kind of just cut it because it's when you put it on YouTube, I mean, investigations are hours. And let's be honest, most of it, you're probably not going to get much. So we kind of put out the highlights.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's okay. But people, and it's under Astral Light Paranormal. You guys on Facebook and YouTube. I am streaming your email across the bottom, which is, it was supposed to be, oh, wait, that's my site. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. That's why. So you want to let people know your email? Is this in, because you share it. So if people reached out to you, would they have something maybe you want to investigate, or if people contact you, what do they usually contact about?
Yeah, no, investigating, even any questions, chat, honestly, if anything, just if you want to chat paranormal and investigations, maybe on like, even advice on equipment. Do you use that? Honestly, anything. I'm open.
Okay, so I know her email is going across the bottom is astrallight2023@gmail.com. You guys, if you want to reach out, or again, you guys are on Facebook and YouTube. I see you, Tina Lumisol. Nice to thank you for joining us. You guys hang around because right after this, Preston Dennett and Dolly Saffron are on with the Light Gate. I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring all the shows here on Mondays. And if you can, Carnation is a global brand. So consider if you're out shopping and you need a product Carnation provides, maybe picking up something with them because they support all the shows here on Mondays here on the network. I want to thank Victoria for being here. I'm going to have her on again. Maybe we'll do like a paranormal panel or something. That'd be really fun. Have a bunch of posties. And Heidi just said this. What a beautiful comment. She said, Victoria, you are an absolute beautiful soul. And I agree, Heidi. I'm going to give you Heidi. Shout out to Michelle Wilfog because Michelle, they I don't know what they did to us. I got some warning. I appealed it while we were live and they denied it. But I'm glad you were there. Thank you for being my mod on TikTok and to everybody that joined us over there. You guys, if you ever want to get a hold of me, I do psychic and mediumship readings. I do Akashic records. I do crystal Reiki. I do energy healing, teaching, and mentoring. You can get a hold of me at the moment on Facebook.com/Angel or any social media platform. Usually Messenger is the fastest and quickest and easiest. I have not forgotten about the course that I'm working on with one of my closest friends, Leanne Clark. That is coming. When I do, I'm hoping to go to a domain name. And speaking of Leanne Clark, you guys can find her on Facebook and Instagram under the Crystal Architect. I call her the Crystal Wizardress. She's coming on next Monday with our other close friend, Debbie A. Anderson. Every time I have them on, I usually have them on one time a year. You guys love them. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again for coming, Victoria. And you guys hang tight. There's more coming. Hang tight. Oh, somebody put their intro on here again. You guys, I'm telling you, I have to get in the heck after. Anyways, we'll see you on Thursday with Carrie Lynn, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Beneath the Hollow Moon as well.